got to run. We can.
Oh, you're gonna do it now?
Yeah.
Oh well, then I'll just stick around for a minute.
All right, we're gonna play some random ranked battles while we have our discussion, just so that people have something to look at while that's going on.
Random rank. You just described how ranked battle is.
Bit of an oxymoron, huh? All right.
More moron than oxy. Let's just say that.
There you go. In theory, the game is loading. There it goes. All right, so for those of you guys who are not in the know, Wargaming has acquired the rights to King of the Sea. This is something that Raptor and I have been casting for, what, now, 3 years?
Oh, God. King of the Sea 5 would have been early 2018. So, yeah, 3 years and change.
About 3 years.
About 3 years.
You know, we've seen a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it lightly.
Right. And, you know, so to see it grow and meld has been really fun to watch. But now it's gone from a player-run competition, which Wargaming continued to support more and more over time, to now a Wargaming competition. And some people are, you know, have some thoughts on it. I've got mine, but Raptor, would you like to start us off with a little bit of your thoughts, or should we start with Big M?
I'd start with BigM. I actually have a video that Duckman has linked in the chat a couple of times that I posted some thoughts on. So I'll be happy to share mine, but let's let other folks go first.
All right, Big M.
Well, I'm obviously can't talk about a lot of specifics, but overall, I don't think it's the death knell that people seem to think it is. You know, I don't think a whole lot's going to change in the near term. In the long term, there's definitely some possibilities to do more things with it, more, you know, potential of sponsors, potential of just going bigger than we've gone before, than we could without direct involvement. So, yeah, and it's also important to keep in mind that they're only running the EU and Russia directly. NA and Asia are still have their same admin teams.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thing to keep in note, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Now, obviously, since there's coordinations between regions, Wargaming will have more of an influence than they might have otherwise. But the direct things are still going in NA and Asia are still the same people.
Yeah. First of all, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and EU, aside from the admins who stepped aside, it is still largely the same people. So.
Okay. Edgecase is saying, so does that mean we could still see a ban format on NA even if EU doesn't? Yes.
That's a specific I can't talk about.
That's okay. I'm not an admin, guys, and I don't have any insider information. Stevie is currently loving all of you right now. But I can say that I was listening to Mr. Conway, who was on Bogsy's channel when he was doing a podcast, and there was a moment when he talked about the ship bans and how that was a really cool element that seemed to have a very positive response from the viewers. Not such a positive response from some of the teams, mind you, but some of the viewers really enjoyed how things were shaken up by the ship bans. So I have a strong feeling that Wargaming is going to look into that, and I almost wonder, with this season of clan battles having the possibility of banning ships or whatever, if that came out of the discussion with King of the Sea and seeing how that worked for King of the Sea.
I think it was actually Verizon that had a lot to do with it.
And Verizon also, absolutely, because obviously, you know, they threw down a good, you know, stack of bills and said, hey, you know, do something cool for us. And I think we delivered. And boy, was it fun to watch and participate in that tournament, both the Veterans Challenge and the actual overall tournament. So I have a feeling that that's when Wargaming said, hey, we can make this happen. And when they had 54,000 people watching on Twitch when it was featured on the front page, wow. That was awesome. Warp Speed, Mr. Scott, no worries. Thanks for hanging around. Personally, I'm excited to see where Wargaming takes this. I think it gives them the ability to increase the prize pool significantly, which I think will be cool. I don't necessarily know that they'll do a lot of cash prizes, but I mean, it's not too hard to click a mouse and give somebody a ship or 2 or 5 or whatever. So I could see that going a long way, and the integration that comes out of wargaming I think is pretty cool. Raptor, you might recall when a certain wargaming employee decided to build the spectator mode that we have now.
Yes, I remember this.
And God, I'm trying to remember her name, but
You're talking about Mimi Missile.
that's right, and she was so awesome.
Mimi was arguably one of the largest supporters that competitive organized tournaments had in St. Petersburg before she left the company.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Court. Yeah, and so like, and that's all for a player-run event, mind you. So the fact that wargaming is now, you know, kind of taken the wheel, so to speak, on this, I think that we're going to see an awful lot of change to the actual game as a result of the integration of a more competitive mode. And that's something that a lot of players have been asking for a very long time. They don't consider, I mean, clan battles is competitive, sure, but, you know, ranked, a lot of players aren't looking at it anymore, so maybe we can see something that comes out of this. Yeah, so, Ouija, take the wheel! I didn't mean it quite like that, but sure. One thing that I've talked about before with my commentary on King of the Sea is I'd love to see a secret ingredient come into play, to where like teams are forced to play a specific ship, like maybe like an Izumo, for example, or just something that like people generally don't want to bring, and force teams to make that ship work for a comp or lineup or whatever. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Can I say an opinion?
Yeah. Like,
I think
go ahead.
they should go along the lines of what you just said, and also about the ship banning is, why not just have tech tree only? They set a certain tier and a certain number of each tier that you can bring, and go for it.
Sure, that's a possibility.
I think that would be, and them bringing some of the elements of the King of the Sea into clan battles, I think is a good thing. The ship banning, the map banning could be a good thing.
Well, Edge brings up a good point. There's the monetization side of things. If you're going to do it, like, say, Tier 8 King of the Sea, to ban all the Tier 8 premium ships out there could definitely hurt. Krimboa got himself his first drop. Congrats.
But if you notice how... But then that would bring out the skill in people, because I feel that the premium ship sometimes could be a bit of a crutch that players rely on, like Sminsky was until the Commander rework. You used to see those things in every battle.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Wargaming took them off sale, you still saw them every day played. But
Okay.
it would cause people to get better, like with the Commander rework. It gives the players an opportunity with the Commander rework to get better at the game. Figure out a niche, figure out a build, and then just go with it. Have a chance to experience the game in a new light. That it seems like the game has become stagnant before the Commander rework.
Fair enough.
But that's just my opinion.
Ah. Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't know. I think with banning of the premium ships, it doesn't matter, because once you get to the higher skilled players, it's not the ship, it's the players. They're gonna find the ship that works, right? Tech tree, premium or not, it doesn't matter. When you're talking competitive, it's 90% skill, 10% the ship.
Right. That's why I'm saying that the Tech 2 chips, everyone has access to. Not everybody's got access to the research bureau that would play or would want to play at high levels. Yeah.
So one thing that I think is worth pointing out here, okay, is that remember, I'm not a KOTS admin anymore either, so some of what you're going to hear me say is speculation, all right? However, historically, the admin team has automatically banned ships that are no longer available. So ships that have been removed from sale, removed from the armory, removed from the research bureau. In other words, if they're not freely accessible to anybody with the time and energy to go get them, they're typically on, like, they're not allowed. So that's I'm not sure what's on that list at tier 10. What, like, maybe is Smolensk on that list now as an example? If I were to look, I don't remember. Okay, so like that would be one example. Smolensk is no longer available. In other words, in general, that ship would be not allowed in King of the Sea. Okay, just historically, again, I don't know what they're going to do. Right. When it comes, I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
You're being defeated by B Cup's tip right now. just listen to the stream.
Okay. So then after that, it's just a question of whatever, you know, I guess whether or not the admin team feels like there is a need to ban problematic ships. We generally, I don't believe we've seen a lot of that over the years. I'd have to go back and study rule sets. But TheBigM, I don't think, like when you and I were dealing with this stuff, I don't think we ever just banned ships because we're like, well, this ship is oppressive or whatever. We just got. I don't think we did that, did we?
That is a correct statement. The rules as written as of King of the Sea 11, and I can't say what they're going to be for 12 because nothing's finalized yet. But the rule was that the ship generally ships that weren't generally available were out. Ships that were Tech T ships that had not been out, or any ship that had not been out for at least one full patch was out.
Right.
And Research Bureau ships were banned for 6 months.
So that gives everybody a chance to earn the thing, basically.
Correct. So like in the last King of the Sea, I believe I don't know if it was Smolensk out for that one, but I know Slava was.
Slava was too new.
Was out because it was already removed from the store.
Yeah, no, Smolensk was. I know Slava was, as an example.
So yeah. So, but beyond those kinds of restrictions, historically, we have not seen ships banned in the rule set. And I'll give you my opinion. I don't think Wargaming's going to do that now, right? Because let's be honest, as Edge or whoever was pointing out, it's bad for business, right? Like it's at the end of the day, it's bad for business. So I don't see that happen. We do certain things. You do certain things to preserve the balance of the team lineups, but beyond that, I don't see them adding restrictions. Personal opinion.
Yeah, Taylor. Stevie's very comfortable on my lap. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Dutch Eagle makes a point in chat talking about lineups getting stale. All right, so there's a difference between what we're talking about here. We're talking about right now ships being banned from the entire tournament by the rules set. Okay, historically, that is something that the guys that write the rules try to avoid. It has been done, and we do have seen in the past rules added for ships that are no longer available. What Dutch Eagle is talking about is ship bans like we have on NA. Where when the match is announced, what we were doing in King of the Sea 11, each team was allowed to ban, I think, 2 ships, and that lasted throughout the duration of the match. So EU has never done that. The EU has always fought ship bans and said, no, we don't want. Okay, now we're in a position where Wargaming may decide to make that a global rule. I don't know. They have that. I won't say they have that authority, but they have that. I'd say they have that weight to throw around now. Let's put it that way.
I mean, there's nothing stopping Wargaming. Like, you have to adopt this rule, or we're not going to give you prizing, right?
Exactly. Right. They have that weight. They always had that weight to throw around. Let's be honest. They did, because they always supplied the prizing. To their credit, they never did. When the admins wanted to remove carriers from the tournament, Wargaming was like, "Hey, it's your tournament," and so I don't foresee that changing, but I do think that ship bans have reached a point where, even like as Duck Gigi was pointing out in chat, it became a very hot topic during the last EU event with World of Petros. Okay, and I think you're going to see more support for ship bans on EU this time than you have historically in the past.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah. As a player, I like ship bans versus global bans, since it brings the choice of what to ban to the individual teams and not just the rules makers of the tournament.
That's a good point.
Now you can, so it adds more variety, because now the team can choose to ban things, like they can choose to ban things that they don't like, or they can say, hey, we're gonna develop a strat around Petros. We don't care if you bring Petros.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're gonna make a strat to counter Petros, and we're gonna ban something else instead.
And we saw last time with the ban system working, teams that actually did some research on their opponent and knew like what the crux of their strategy would be, and they'd ban that ship outright for them.
Yep, that's another option, and it's gonna add more variety, more depth. I mean, teams need to prepare more strategies.
I almost wonder though, do you guys think that makes it more difficult for, you know, the average team to be able to progress, because, you know, they might not have the time or ability to develop multiple different strategies around multiple different ships?
It definitely can, and I mean, there's the negative. Like, I think in the Swiss stage, we were fighting a team. I think we fought I'm not sure if it was Swiss stage or it was it might have been the first group stage. I think whatever the first stage of the bans were, the team we were fighting, like, there was one guy that like only had like a Henry or something. So for like one of the matches, like, we didn't have any set bans, so for one of the matches, we're just like, oh, we're just gonna ban the 2 ships this guy has and see what happens.
Right.
And this guy had to get benched.
That's kind of a troll thing, but it's totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
they can't stop you. But I agree with what Recon says in chat. Right. The whole point of the ban system is that you have to have the flexibility, and this is going to sound kind of a bit arrogant, but you have to have the skill to adapt. Adapt to, okay, they've taken this arrow and that arrow out of my quiver. What can I do to achieve my map strategy differently? Right. And I think that personally, I love the ship bans because I feel like it adds an interesting dynamic to the event.
Mm-hmm.
I agree as well.
It requires players to adapt.
Of course, players to trap, it requires the FC to adapt. It's like, if you know a team relies on a one-trip pony type strat or deployment, like, you can cripple that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is me speaking up for the EU, some of the EU teams, since I'm really more working on the EU side now. Is their argument has always been that not being able to plan makes for a bad show. I don't know. I'm not gonna express an opinion on that opinion, but that's what I've seen, for the crux of what I've seen from some of the EU teams.
So when you say plan, you mean go into every single map with a fixed strategy, fixed lineup, that kind of plan? Is that what you think they're referring to?
To the best of my ability, I'm not going to try to misrepresent what people are saying.
No, that's fine.
That's how I read it. Yes.
Okay. I'm asking for your interpretation.
That would be my interpretation.
Okay.
That's my impression as well. Like, a great example is, if you look at like how TWA plays a map like North or something, they come with these very set piece strats that it's like every ship position has been predetermined, like down to like the meter or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to be exactly in this spot, so it has exactly these firing angles. This radar coverage, and we're going to rotate exactly this way if the enemy does this.
Yeah, you spend the time in the training room to figure out, if I put the ship in this position, these are the firing angles I have, blah, 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 right? Yeah, I see where you're going.
If I'm going to be this far from this specific island because it does this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if I was a ship width closer to the island, I wouldn't have this, and if I was ship width too far from it, it would be this or something. Yeah.
And I guess, I hear that, I understand that, and I hear what Big M is saying in terms of the argument that the EU guys that would oppose this system make for it. My feeling, right, and again, this is my opinion, I don't care if you agree with it or not, but my opinion is that the tournament should be more about how it's played and how it's executed during the game, and less about how much time you spent planning every map to the nth degree. Not that you just didn't spend any time, because I feel like any kind of event like this, you have to prepare, right? The teams that we see that perpetually do well are the teams that invest the time to prepare and think through their strategies and plan strategies for maps and boat positions and so on. I have no issues with that, right? Preparation should be part of the event, but it shouldn't be the sole determining factor in whether or not a team performs well, in my opinion.
That's why I agree with you on that. That's why I think, and this is my opinion again, that whenever teams show up, like for even rank or clan battles, they say, okay, this battle will be tier 6 tech tree. Go, have fun. And see how well groups perform and how well they can adapt.
Yeah, they've been doing
for
it.
me, it's boring if you sit there see them reading off of a script, because that's basically what a lot of the teams do. They're reading off scripts, and it's boring. Where's the improvisation? Where's the ability for the players to adapt to a changing situation?
Duckman,
But then again, that's my opinion.
I think we're going to see some more of that with this current clan battle season, since they added the ability to do bans and other restrictions mid-season. But they have been varying the lineups each season, like between, we've seen tier 10 clan battles, we see tier 8 clan battles, we see tier 6 clan battles, we see 1 battleship, 2 battleship format, carrier or no carrier formats, and we do see like the teams that have put in the work and the effort and have the skill like on top consistently.
Yep. And I agree with Raptor. The first couple of days of this of covering King of the Sea is some of the most fun, because you literally have no idea what you're going to see.
Yeah, you've got the fresh ideas and the new blood coming in and the Swiss stage and whatnot, and see some interesting stuff.
Right. Duckman was asking if there's any sort of controversy with map bans. I don't think there is. Do you guys?
Not
map
that I'm aware
bans
of.
have been a pretty traditional part of, I think, even Supremacy League had map bans. I assume. And
think
map
so.
picking and
No, map bans, I think, is something that's
it's a staple outside of wargaming competitive as well.
Right.
EU's been doing it for a while too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see pick ban in World of Tanks as well, and I'm sure many other competitive esport games have map pick ban systems.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you got to figure out what map you're gonna play on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm still an advocate for the All Ocean final, though.
The what?
The what?
All ocean.
All Ocean final.
Oh, that's funny.
Real men don't need islands.
Guys heard it right here. The King of the Sea
I will
admin.
say-
That'd be like a fun exhibition tournament.
Can we just
do
talk
like a
about?
one-off tournament that's
Can
all
we
on
just talk about
ocean.
this ridiculous Colbert game for a minute? What am I watching?
Oh, you're watching SFNL play the Colbert.
Is that who this is? I hadn't even
Yes,
realized. Oh my
this
god,
is
it is
SFNL.
SF. I hadn't even realized it was SF. Even funnier. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Watching him molest that poor Montana a minute ago, I was like, oh, I legit feel bad for that dude.
Yep. And then just that, I don't understand how he managed to turn like so lazily and just not take much damage. I mean, that was pretty fantastic. But
It's the Colbert, that's why.
Yeah.
but
Especially whenever the Colbert start abusing the edge of the map.
when you guys
Excuse me, it's not abuse. It is a game feature that French ships have.
That's right.
It's
That's
the
right.
edge of the map.
It's a feature.
According to Wargaming, it's not a hack.
It's a feature.
But
It's a
feature,
feature
not a bug, yeah.
set for the French.
I love you
Back
guys.
before the engine boost was nerfed, or not the
No.
engine boost, the engine on the map border was nerfed. You didn't lose anything for being on it.
Right.
Now here's the question that I want to ask, okay? Because Zath, you and I worked King of the Sea, right, in October-ish, and then we worked the Verizon tournament in December.
Mm-hmm.
The key difference the biggest difference between those two tournaments was the tier, right? King of the Sea traditionally played at tier 10. Wargaming chose to run the Verizon event at tier 8. And in my opinion, the Verizon tournament was more interesting to watch.
God, yes.
I want to know if you guys agree with that or not.
To be honest,
I'll watch anything you comment on too. Retro.
Oh, you're so sweet, Puddin'.
what made it so interesting for me to watch was absolutely the variety. And I want to mention, too, one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Verizon tournament that they did was they had that exhibition match before they got into the final. And that was just a great way to just kind of get rid of some of the jitters and stuff. Just screw around and have fun. I'd love to see that come back.
following is my personal opinion as a viewer, not as somebody who was involved in both events. I do actually like Tier 8 better.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to see the competitive games at lower tiers than at high tiers.
Mm-hmm. Zebulus is bringing up Tier 5 and under.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just get the tech trees. Here you go, guys. Have fun.
My frustration with Tier 5 and under is that there's a balance to be struck between having a game that's fun to watch and having a game that lasts an hour and a half. Does that make sense? Right? Like, the average Tier 5 game does not develop quickly by any stretch of the imagination. Whereas Tier 10 games can sometimes turn quickly because of the firepower of the ships you're dealing with. Tier 5 games almost sometimes feel like they drag specifically because the ships don't hit anything they aim at and they only move 20 knots, right?
So what you're saying is we need Big Race and Polar and other small maps. I would love to see that.
Tier 1 on Ocean.
I will say I've beta tested a Tier 6 Epicenter format, but and I've also done it as an all battleship Epicenter.
Oh, big hunt tournament mode. Now we're on to
How
something.
about Epicenter on Two Brothers as a competitive mode?
No.
There you go.
No.
Rank and clan battles. Epicenter on Two Brothers. Go.
No.
Have fun.
No.
Oh, Lord, no. No.
Why not? That would be hilarious.
That would be boring as all hell.
You need to give me back Ocean Epicenter. Dang it.
The problem with Two Brothers Epicenter is because you have only 3 avenues to get in and to move north or south, and because you have that one single center part with one channel in and out, it leads to just this like really stagnant play of what's going to happen here. And because of the setup, it's very difficult to rotate from one side of the map to the other. So you're basically just watching either a toilet bowl happen or basically everybody just sit in a line and push, which is just kind of boring.
And some of the things in chat, yes, I've actually been pushing for Savage Battles in the training room so we could do a tournament for it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It just seems like it would. I mean, it would be a blast because you're just gonna watch a bunch of torpedoes flying.
Yep, casually shoots down 19 planes. Well, it's a Colbert. I mean, that's what it does.
I'm just waiting to see if SF can pull this game out, because he's running out of time and they're way down on points and doesn't look good, right?
I mean, I could always use a hit to the win rate of SAS Replay Theater because it's way too high.
I do losses all the time, Zath.
Actually,
I
hold on.
appreciate that.
This is going to be interesting. We're about to see a Colbert versus a Thunderer engagement. Now, that is something that I'm going to be truly fascinated to watch.
Yep, while he's detected and being shadowed by the Holland, mind you.
Yeah, the Holland is out there, has got him lit somewhere.
Yep.
Isn't that the job of the Holland?
Absolutely.
It's the job of the DD to do what? Paint targets and throw torps.
So what exactly did Wargaming buy? Wargaming bought the rights to King of the Sea. And that would be the...
Yeah, specifically it was an IP acquisition.
Exactly. The short answer is they bought the IP. They bought the rights to own the name and use the name, basically. I mean, they already were providing so much support that there's an argument to be had that they had a foot in the door already. Mm-hmm. But they did not own the IP, the rights to the event.
Right. Which means they'd have to call it something else, which would confuse a lot of players.
Exactly.
They'd probably have to come up with all new graphics and assets and branding for it, which is also a pain in the butt.
Ooh,
so
here it comes. Here it comes. I want to watch him melt this thunder. Let's see how quickly he can melt this thunder.
I'm surprised he's not using AP right here. Jinx. Oh, look at the torpedoes. The Holland is south.
Unsaturated superstructure.
Holland is not where we thought he was.
500 IQ torpedo dodger.
Oh my goodness. All right, here comes the guns.
Thunder's not even looking at him. Oh my god.
Here they're coming. Oh no!
And Donald will actually just dumpster Thunder really hard.
Yeah, it really does.
He's got HE loaded. Oh no.
Oh my god, he does have HE loaded.
Citadel a Colbert with HE.
True.
And
He's
you
gotta
will
hit
break
him
the
first.
tension in the process.
There's the high caliber.
Oh my god, look at this.
This is teamwork, ladies and gentlemen.
The Indom's going looking for
We
him.
can't touch any of the cabs.
That's why
They
I
don't-
say that ship is just disgustingly overpowered.
Now we gotta hope for the Cheshire to throw. He's pretty low.
Cheshire just has to get
Pudding's gonna
lit.
throw. Pudding imposter.
At this point, the Holland is so far out of position.
Mhm.
It's like he's not relevant. They have the
Yeah.
ability. They killed the Vlad. Yeah, it's just SF and the carrier. The
problem
Indom
is-
really needs to move with Cap.
Like the Indom need to be like sailing into the middle of the map basically
Yes,
already. Like,
yeah, he needs to be already. He needs to already be in the Cap circle. It's too
Mhm.
late.
I think even then it's still too late. There's just no
Yeah.
time to.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the
There's-
Cheshire.
There's the Cheshire shorts.
run.
That means the Cheshire is close. Those are only 8 kilometers.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
those-
the Holland
those
is
were-
all
Oh
the way
my
over
god,
there.
look at the
Yeah, that's-
Holland!
That
Oh
was-
my god.
This Cheshire luck chuck is what that was.
Oh my god, the Indom got himself murdered.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the Enterprise to pop
My
up like
soul
right
hurts.
here, so it could.
Yes, I know, right? But my soul hurts seeing that Indom die like that. Like,
Yep.
turn your engines on, dude. How many times do we
Yeah,
have
like-
to say it?
They added a giant indicator. Aircraft carrier detected. Like,
Yeah, I know, right? Like, come on.
They've made it easier. Gosh.
Aircraft carrier detected. It also tells you who spotted you, whether it be a ship or a plane. Come on.
Oh,
It
Cheshire.
is-
Cheshire, kill him. Kill him. Time extension.
Burn him!
He's
He's
Burn the
got it.
witch!
He got it. He got it. He got it.
Burn the witch!
Time extension. The problem is he's gonna have to kill all of them to
Time
win out.
extension,
He
yeah.
can't get enough time.
He's got
Never
a
gonna get
yeah.
to the Holland. but
Yeah.
Yeah, the Holland's too far away. He's on the other map. He'll never get there.
Well, if he can kill the Enterprise, that does give him a significant amount of time. Hey, look!
Yeah, but it's not gonna be enough.
Problem, there's also 1.5 minutes.
Yeah,
in the
as I
game.
say, 140 on the clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he kill the Enterprise in 30 seconds?
It's also an Enterprise too, so he's got unlimited plane.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The planes don't matter right now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's got to kill the hull. He's
yeah,
never
the
gonna get there in
planes
time.
literally don't matter because there's a minute 15 in the game. There's 16
Not even that.
seconds.
There's 16 seconds of the
Deploy
time.
now, yeah.
That's what's gonna end this game.
Like,
Is he shooting HE at the Enterprise? Don't
Mhm.
you know
Yes.
that you can't burn can't burn a carrier?
What you gonna shatter the AP
Or
on his
you
deck?
just-
Who cares?
You're
I
gonna
mean,
shatter the AP on the deck. Yeah.
AP equals.
What a
Citadel.
game.
That loss is painful.
not at that
Soul
fucking
hurts.
angle. You're not going to get Citadels on the carrier with 127mm guns.
In a rainstorm.
Rainstorm.
Well, that's what a Colbert is. It's just a rainstorm coming down on you.
That's true.
B-Cup, don't worry. Your Wooster game is coming up for when we get to replay analysis portion. Because I assume you don't want us to just be talking while you're playing. Anything else King of the Sea related you guys want to discuss?
It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait to see what happens with it. I think it's going to be great.
I'm honestly looking forward to it. I'm with Zath on this one. I think ultimately it's a good thing for the tournament in the long run. It feels bad right now, but I think ultimately over the long haul it's going to be a good move.
And
If nothing else, one of the things that, and I kind of touch on this a little bit in my video, is that, you know, wargaming support for player run events has been kind of spotty depending on the event and depending on which region you're running it in, because all of that is handled at the regional level.
Mhm.
Okay, King of the Sea has kind of elevated itself to that, beyond that, because of how it runs on so many different regions. But now that wargaming literally has quite literally a vested interest in the event and it being successful, maybe some of the little, you know, derpy missteps that we've seen over the last few years with the event off and on won't happen, right? Like maybe we'll be able to get past some of that.
right. Can we just take a moment and think about how epic it is as a player to put something together with other players and have Wargaming say, we like this so much, we're going to give you money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys, those people not only did something awesome for the community, for everybody else, they made money doing it, which is just like freaking awesome. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens. When's the next King of the Sea? No ideas. I'm sure one of us probably knows, but can't share it.
So, and I just typed this in chat. Basically, over on the King of the Sea Discord, Conway doesn't. There's no official dates yet, but Conway basically said the plan was to start the event in late April.
Yeah, because they usually do 2 a year, so that would make sense.
Yeah. But that is not secret knowledge. That is in one of the public channels. That question has been answered. So probably my assumption is when that you're looking probably the back half of April somewhere is what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Even if I have seen dates, I don't trust them until they're final. So I've been in this business. Raptor and I've been in this business long enough to know that it's not set until it's set. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Very true.
Nothing set in stone until the event actually starts.
Actually, no, it's been a wargaming thing for a long time with me. I don't trust it until it's on the website.
And even then, sometimes it lies.
And Raptor and I both know sometimes I still don't trust it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it till it happens.
Well,
hey,
yeah, I don't trust it until the event actually starts and I'm sitting watching it.
At least they decided to stop scheduling these events right around time zone shifts.
Thank God, right?
God damn it. Yeah.
So
the amount of headaches we've had from that alone.
Oh my God, yes.
As someone who's had to write those timetables,
oh yeah, it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I gotta bail. I gotta go get some food and do some stuff around the house. Good conversation, and
thanks.
You guys feel free to ping me anytime you want to talk more.
Yep. Hey, thanks for the raid, the sub, and hanging around for the past hour, dude. It's always fun to spend time with you, man. So appreciate it.
The past hour, he says. You mean the past 3 years?
Well, yes.
Nice to finally talk to you, C Raptor. Thanks.
Indeed.
Thanks for the content, and
no worries.
Catch you around.
Yeah, we need to
catch you guys later.
We need to get a shout out.
Have a good day, shitter.
Yep, you too, buddy. Have a good stream, and I'll catch y'all later.
Thanks. See ya. Oh my goodness, there's one of C Raptor's clips right there. I think we might have been casting that one together even. But yes, double check him out. He's a cool dude, cool cat. So we're coming up on the end of our first hour. What we'll do is let's talk about some of the commander stuff, and then we'll take a break and do our next Grand Prix race for marbles. And then we'll finish up our chat with Axis and Allies and talk about what that means and how that works. Desta, we're just putting random replays up while we're talking, so people have something to look at instead of a blank screen. So there's no analysis here. The last game was kind of like one of those crazy things where we just like stopped for a moment and just talked about what the heck was happening in the game. But you know, like that's not necessarily the intention. So anyway,
it was a Colbert match.
Yeah,
it was funny. It was amusing. We had to stop.
Yeah. Exactly.
The Colbert being a Colbert.
And we just see a Venom being a Venom. So.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Let's chucking 16 torps at a time. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. So commander skills. Let's talk about the one thing that was really important, and that is Deadeye. There was just an announcement recently on a Russian stream that Deadeye is going to be reworked. So a reworked captain skill, commander skill, is about to be reworked once again. They've asked for the public, the community, to, give them about 3 to 4 weeks of time and to be patient as they come up with what they can do instead for Deadeye. I would very much like to know, chat and people who are here, if you think that will solve the issue that we are seeing right now of players camping out in the backfield and overall people being unhappy with their teammates.
No.
I
don't think he's going to change a single bit, because there's going to be the players that already going to be sitting in the back, regardless of having Deadeye or not, and spamming HE or AP if they can think long enough to push the 2 key. I don't think it's going to change anything. Players are going to find something to complain about regardless. That
Okay.
I was just an excuse and only an excuse.
Okay.
Like the captain's rework was an excuse for players to be salty and bitter and not take the opportunity to relearn the game because, oh, look, you're telling me I'm bad playing because I need to relearn the game.
So I have a very scientific poll put up. Sorry, cut in, but guys, put your response there. Do you think it's going to work? Yes or no? Go ahead, Big M.
I have no opinion on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were about to say something.
Nope.
No. I was just gonna whine about them nerfing battleship survivability builds.
Well, you knew
Okay.
that was going to come because battleships have become too survivable, like the secondary battleship became too tanky.
If you're doing a secondary battleship build, you weren't taking any survivability skills for the most part.
Especially if you're full secondary. You can try to go for a mix, but yeah.
Well, I never took the manual secondary skill on my secondary battleships, and I did just fine without it.
The focus fire and HE spam, you need to have survivability for battleships.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, even with the Montana is the battleship that's supposed to have been able to survive the HE spam,
No.
the legendary mod.
That's
now-
with the module, not a skill.
Yeah, that's a module, and they nerfed that module because that module may or may not have been too good. I don't know.
Mhm.
It was still a pretty niche build, especially if you drop concealment for it. That is not
That's what I'm saying is that the people would build skills in the Montana to be survivable.
Montana is not a survivability, the secondary battleship though.
Mm-mm.
You're
I'm not
building it
saying
for secondary.
secondaries. With the Montana.
Okay, so
My
that's
Montana's not a
one
secondary
ship.
build.
They're going to rework the entire commander tech tree because of one ship instead of just modifying the one ship. That may or may not have been overperforming, and I do not think the Montana was overperforming.
So, my perspective on this whole meta is it has nothing to do with an individual skill. I think the bigger problem is the fact that wargaming essentially changed the game underneath everybody else's feet without players having an adequate time to practice, play it, try it out, and experience it. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Thank God forbid that.
Yeah, I think it's the ships they've been adding lately. Being more powerful in the HE department.
It's like you said, it's more of the ships they're adding, the gold ships, as I like to call them.
And
The ones that should take
yeah,
out
and
the
especially
competitive
when
gameplay. But that's
and especially when they announce they're going to remove like such and such ship, and everyone flocks to buy them, hence resulting in the thunderous spam.
But if you think about it, true. But that's now, right? And sure, now it's painful because everybody's got thunderers. But
now,
wait a year, we'll still see some
but
thunderers.
The matchmaking adjusts.
But I think that the bigger issue, and what's causing players like maybe the Missouri to sit way far back right now, is that players feel less confident in their abilities now than they did before because players don't know how the skills are going to work, and they don't feel like those skills are helping them. I don't know how many people have said that they feel like wargaming has nerfed them as a result. Ted, you kind of mentioned that earlier with, hey, they got rid of the survivability build, or at least nerfed that build, right? So would you agree that you kind of feel a little...
Yeah.
Right, so would you agree that you feel like maybe you have been nerfed as a player?
Yes, I would, especially on battleships, for example. I mean, the 21-point survivability build gives up something that it previously had with 19 points.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like expert marksman or adrenaline rush or something else. I forget exactly what the point mix is.
Right.
Another example is all the super cruisers that now can no longer take fire prevention despite them taking 60-second fires.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize how massive of a change that actually is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with me, I always took last stand on my battleships.
But what I'm trying to... Sorry, go ahead.
Now, it seems like every time I take a torp in the rear or get shot in the butt, I lose my engine and lose my rudder.
But
before, if I get hit there, I can still maneuver, and I've seemed to lose more games and get more frustrated.
So what I'm trying to get at, guys, is that if players feel like they are less impactful in the game now, that they have been nerfed by these skills, they're going to be less confident overall in the game. And because they're less confident in the game, they're going to naturally stay farther away. I want you to think about it for a second. If you are somebody that is pushing a cap and you've got somebody right next to you, you feel much more confident in that situation. Those of you that were watching earlier, remember that ranked game that I played where I had a clip air that just YOLO'd into A because he thought he had me on his side. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do that. He got overconfident and that got him killed. But what I'm getting at is if I wasn't there and communicating with him and making him feel comfortable, there's no way he would have gone A by himself. He was playing more in the mid originally. So, I honestly think that what we are seeing here is a lack of confidence amongst the player base in terms of their skills, in terms of the points that they're using, in terms of their ability to do anything. Battleship players have lost some confidence in their secondary builds, right? Or in their survivability builds. Cruiser players have lost their confidence because maybe they can't feel as close anymore because of Deadeye, right? Destroyer players might have lost some of their confidence because they don't have, the skill points necessary to get to Dazzle or something else that they think is going to have an impact on them because they just don't know what the skills will do and how effective they're going to be. So by default, you're going to play more cautious and more careful. And I think that's the problem that we're running into with this rework. It has nothing to do with an individual skill. It has everything to do with the fact that players just don't know what to expect right now. And we saw that with the carrier rework too.
I would say it's partially the player base's fault too, because you imagine if 50% of the people on the live server went to the public test when it was up, trying things out, do you think they would be like, you would hope they would have a better understanding of the skills and the points instead of just listening to somebody on YouTube or Twitch and be like, well, that's my opinion because so-and-so said so.
There's also...
Like if they actually went on the public test and did something.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the public test service population is so small.
But the players don't go there to learn these changes.
It's like
so
I say that's what I'm saying.
catch-22 on this. Because
That's what I'm saying is that the player test server's population is so small is because players don't go there and play on the test server.
Wargaming amid this themselves, they need more data for the live server. And another thing is PTS might not be final.
Right.
the thing with
it's another client that you have to download. So that's what, like 20, 30, I don't even know how big it is this time, gigabytes that
60, I guess.
That your internet has to download. And any progression on there doesn't transfer back. It's like, why would I play the public test when anything I do on it's just going to get like wiped or reset the next time?
Well,
like I could be grinding out the ships that I have, or I could be playing, or I got ranked to play. Now that mode resets every 2 weeks, or clan battles.
Right.
Well, you get reward for
but there's
playing
just
on a
a-
test server.
such a
It
small
transfers over to the
population.
Yeah, I
live
get-
server at the
what,
end
like-
of the session.
I get a few flags or a day of premium time when I'm sitting on 2 years of premium time and 2,000 of each flag. Like,
Right. Right. And
Yeah, but you have some of us who don't have that time and don't have those
That's-
flags that go
Sure.
play on the
and
test
that's your
server.
decision for the value of your time.
Right. And
And
those are
there
probably
are
newer players.
Lots of people that are in the same boat that I am, that playing on the test server is not worth my time because of that.
I mean, I agree with that, sir. It's not worth somebody's been playing a long time to do it. Because you've already got a metric gas ton of what they're giving away.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're also saying then, okay, then
But what I'm
my
saying is at
opinion
least
on
if
new
half the
stuff
player
is
base
not
went
worth
on
it
to there.
because it's beneath me to go test it.
Okay, guys, just don't talk over each other. Let people finish their what they have to say, and then respond. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. This is something that we are all very passionate about, which is why we're all jumping in and talking. So Shane, say what you were going to say, and then Puddin', go ahead and say what you were going to say, okay?
So you're saying because I don't get rewards, I am going to not bother going on the test server because it's beneath me to go on there and try out the new stuff, but yet I am going to gripe and complain because I don't like the new changes. I don't understand if you're not going to go on there and try the testing and then give the feedback to Wargaming saying, hey, look, this, and this.
Okay, Puddin'?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that even if you just got half the player base on there, that's going to give Wargaming more data.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is also with, like, people feel like Wargaming doesn't listen. And I've said this a couple times here. Wargaming listens. You just might not like their answer. Because you got to remember, the NA is the smallest server population. Like, we don't even... We're just under the EU. And then there's the Russian server. And I don't know how many of us actually pay attention to what the Russians are actually saying, like the Russian player base.
Wait, isn't C the smallest?
Jason, that's a good point. It says players, sorry. It also doesn't help when there are people on YouTube and streamers telling people that their feedback doesn't matter and Wargaming doesn't listen to them. And I completely agree with you. And like Puddin' said, they are listening, they are responding, but it takes a while. Before the stream, guys, we were talking a little bit about this stuff. Holy crap, Kramoa. Firing off those 510s with 5,000 bits? Goodness, alright. Cheers to Kramoa, first of all.
X5000, woot woot.
I just want to say real quick that when it comes to wargaming and listening to the players, we were talking before the stream. One instance where wargaming did listen to the players, some of you that have been playing this game for a very, very long time know, remember RTS carriers before the rework when the Graf Zeppelin came out. And Wargaming had nerfed the AP bombers on it so that it was like a 6 or 9 second delay before they actually hit the water or the ship, and therefore it made the Graf Zeppelin very difficult. A lot of people were upset. A lot of people were making negative, you know, what the hell is this Wargaming? It's a bait and switch, etc., etc. And Wargaming made a very unprecedented move at that point because of how the community was responding. And they said, one, we're going to allow you to get a refund of the ship if you would like, and two, we're going to let you, the player, help balance the ship. We're going to give you different versions of the ship. We'll let you try it out. We'll let you give feedback. And
is now following.
We're going to go with what you want. And what we ended up with is one of the most broken ships that went through balance phasing that we've ever seen. I know Enterprise is broken too, guys, but Enterprise didn't have this. It wasn't balanced by the community, okay? But the point I'm trying to make is Wargaming realized something in this process, and that is that the community doesn't necessarily know what it wants when it comes to balancing ships. And it's difficult to expect, therefore, the community to be able to balance a skill rework, a CV rework, etc., etc., etc. So, something important. The other thing, just real quick to mention, public test, people don't play normal on public test because their stats don't matter, because like Ted said, it has no progress towards their XP earnings on the live server or anything like that. So by all means, they're going to go in YOLO and do stupid things. You can't expect it to play the same as on the live server. Good point, Edge.
But
Edge.
Yep. I've been around.
On the test server, you get access to the stuff that, like the Italian battleship.
Yeah, everybody goes and plays the fancy new toys that they've got no clue how to play. It's been the same thing in tanks for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you get all the people that don't know what they're doing, just YOLOing around. Like it's some of the funniest. And tanks for a while, there actually was a massive problem because, like the Russian players would team kill the other region players.
Yep.
Because they thought they didn't deserve to be there back in the day.
Yep.
Like, how are you gonna get data from that?
So my take on the removal of Deadeye, guys, is literally, it's... Oh, Disnack, thank you for the sub. My feeling on the rework is it's just lip service to people who are upset and blaming Deadeye for the reason that they're losing, or that their teammates are at the back, or that they died, or whatever. And the reality is, there's a lot more to it than that. And I hope I didn't offend people by saying it that way, but when I look at this as a community contributor, I've played this game for long enough that, and I'm still here, that I've seen a whole lot of things coming from Wargaming, the player base, and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that Wargaming is still here is a testament to what they've built and continue to support. And I disagree with people that say that Warships is on its way out, that the devs are ruining the game for themselves, etc., etc. I think we're going to see this game for another 5 years. Just like people said the same. I mean, Ted, please. People said the same thing about tanks, right?
Yeah, people have been saying tanks is dying for the past 8-9+ years.
And
I mean,
I've been playing for 8 years, and it's been constantly going, "Oh, tanks! World of Tanks is on its way out. It's on its way out." Oh no, it's
I mean, the population is I mean, I've got lots of stuff to say about tanks. I do agree that the game is dying, so to speak, but it's the kind of slow death phase of a mature MMO as the population slowly drops off.
I mean, the other thing...
I mean, it's a 10-year-old game. Like, it's going through the online game life cycle.
Right. Go ahead, bud.
We're not even on patch 1 yet for ships. Right?
I mean, that's
By the time patch 1 drops, it's going to be completely different than what it is now, I believe.
That's an arbitrary number. The game has been released, and they can number it whatever they want. They can tack a few more zeros in front of it. It doesn't matter. It's a release game. They're charging money for products in it. Like, I think that's a wrong. Like, it's in beta. Like, I mean, War Thunder did that for forever as well. And it's like, I think they're technically still in beta.
Yep.
Like, despite being a live game for like 7 years now, or 8 years.
Yep.
So you can't hand wave problems by saying that it's in beta. It's not the version number is not some arbitrary number.
Right. Right. And Zebulus, communication. That's my one gripe with Wargaming, and I've brought that up. Others have kind of talked about it, but it's easier to point the finger at something tangible, and Deadeye is tangible. The rework is tangible, right? The level of communication or lack of communication is not tangible. So,
yes.
For 1 second here, I just wanted to make sure Red Wing Nut is in here, and I'm not sure if you wanted to say something. So this might be the teacher in me making sure that everybody has a voice. But
he's also deaf and mute.
He is, which is why I just sent him a PM to ask if he wanted to say something, because I want to make sure that he's got an opportunity to say something as well and weigh in on his own opinion on this. And then from there we'll move on. The description of the skills.
I would like to.
Oh, hey, there you are. Oh.
I would like to comment on. Oh.
What else?
Go ahead, Desta, and then we'll move to Red Wing after that. Go ahead, Desta.
Yeah, I would like to comment on like Wargaming listening to the player base. Like, again, that I agree. Like, Wargaming listens to the player base, like, but the player base's idea and Wargaming's idea might be two different things. So it sometimes feels like a dice roll on like whether Wargaming implements what players want or not. It's like trying to be on the same wavelength with Wargaming. And also, my opinion is that Wargaming might they might listen to the player base, but maybe they're making a mistake of not listening to maybe the correct people. I might get some backlash for this, but I think they should focus more towards listening to people with more knowledge on the game and people who are experienced or playing for a long time.
Okay.
especially the people more into competitive.
Thank you for that, Desta. I agree with you. Okay, Red Wing, let's go ahead and hear yours if you don't mind.
Oh, I haven't been playing that long.
Go ahead, I'm turning your volume up. Go ahead.
I really haven't been playing that long, but with the battleships, I watch a lot of people, and I watch a lot of different webcasts on try to pick up pointers on how to play certain ships. Sea Raptor is really good at explaining that. That's why I follow him a lot. So that goes to the previous gentleman's point about, you know, more experienced players. I don't own a tier 10, so I don't, and none of my commanders are high enough where I get a Deadeye. I prefer to play battleships, but I don't rush. But during gameplay, it seems like all my teammates are like, hey, you need to do better about doing this, this, and this. I play the way that I feel comfortable playing, because at the end of the day, if I get destroyed, I got to pay to replace the ship. The other point that I wish they would kind of look at, yes, I understand Wargaming listens. I just wish sometimes the timing of the changes is a little shorter. In other words, don't wait until the next patch or next version, which might be, you know, I haven't been playing that long. It seems like they're a month or so apart, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
It's a long time to wait when people are frustrated, especially the ones that spend a lot of money to play the game. I do not, but I get frustrated when, you know, you get blown up from a ship that is all the way on the other side of the board, and you look up and you're looking at your map going, where did that come from and what just happened? So timing is everything. I hear a lot of podcasters, some like Deadeye, some don't. I've not played it, but I would love to sometimes, but I'm not one of those campers that's going to sit behind an island all game, wait and pick my targets, and then pat myself on the back and say, look what a good teammate I am. You know, that's where I am on that. I just wish the changes that I see would happen a little bit quicker. So that's enough.
Okay. Hey, thank you for putting that feedback in, Red Wing, and I would agree with you. We'd all like to see quicker changes to things, but I will, if you don't mind, share a little bit of knowledge that I have from when I went to St. Petersburg 2 summers ago for the CC Summit. One of the things that we learned about with Wargaming is that when they assign any sort of like changes and stuff like that to the game, they typically have a group that's assigned to follow that change from its inception to trying things out to then putting it on like a internal test server, maybe even another internal test server, then finally public test and beyond.
Ion Laser is now following.
Iron Laser, thanks for the follow. And So for the one thing is that takes a good amount of time then for a change to be implemented from the start to the end, because they like to go through and test it out and all that kind of stuff. If there's something that's perceived as a immediate problem, like we need to fix it right away, then what Wargaming will do is issue an incremental patch. They've been less and less interested in that as of late, because each one of those patches costs them a good amount of money to prepare, to put together, and then to execute. And because we all know that sometimes when you patch a game, you break something you didn't intend to do. So
Right.
I think that when they said they're going to rework it and have something for us in 3 to 4 weeks, you, the player, might look at that and say, God, that's forever, right?
Right.
Because
For them, it's not so much. I get it.
for them, what they're trying to signal to the player base is they are actually putting a significant amount of resources behind this, more so than they would for just a standard change that they would want to build in. But again, we as players don't see that. We perceive it as, you know, get off your butts and fix it now, right? Like, why are you taking so long?
It seemed like it was such a hot button topic. I mean, virtually every podcaster has weighed in and said, you know, even the people, even their followers are like, hey, this needs to be reworked or this needs to be fixed. And then the podcasters turn around and say, you know, they go back to the powers that be that say, hey, you know, not very many people are happy with this. What can we do?
Yep.
You don't always want to point out the problems. You also want to offer solutions. I get that. That's how I used to still do that in my job. But you know, don't tell me all your problems. How are you going to fix it?
Right.
Is that viable? Maybe, maybe not. I get that. And I've not been, maybe I'm jealous that I've found the game so late, but it seems like it could be done a little sooner when you have hot topics like that. If it's something that the powers that be say, you know what, we can wait until we roll out 10.03. Okay, it's your game. We have to abide by your rules. I understand there's a cost effect. I get all that. But you don't want to lose players because they get so frustrated with the game and say, you know, there's no way I can win. Why am I playing?
Absolutely.
And that's not good for anybody. No matter what level, whether, I know you were joking around about playing tier 5s, that's the majority of what I have. I got 2 9s, about 5 8s, and the rest are 5s and 6s. That's how new I am.
And that's okay.
But I don't go out to the premium store. I try to make it work.
Absolutely.
And that is what is enjoyable for me. So that's a little selfish, but would I love to have more tier 10s? Absolutely. Or even higher tier ships that perform better than what I have. But I don't know what that is, which is why I watch podcasters play ships and get those pointers and see how their setups are to say, wow, that worked for them. I'm going to try that when I get that ship.
Right.
See,
Be a while, you know? But like the ship you're giving away today, I love it. I'd love to have a shot at that ship just because I don't have that many high-powered ships. I know you talked about it earlier, but that's what, you know, that's why we play. Bottom line. Yes, we love to have an input. I appreciate your forum today. It's always good to throw that out there, but sometimes when you have inexperienced players or players like me that haven't played that long, you don't know how to implement that fix or even make a good suggestion to say, well, here's what I would do.
Yep.
Or what that looks like yet. Because I'm not one of those experienced players that the gentleman talked about. I play every day. I'm not playing my tier 9 to drop of a hat because I'm grinding out these campaigns and missions and Twitch missions and all, you know, the Italian battleship. I know the tier or level 3 rolls out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm trying to get all those to kind of build my, you know, inventory up. So I know it'll happen. Just how soon, I think that's what a lot of people get frustrated with. It's good that they listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd rather them listen than just throw their hands up and say, well, it's going to be this way or no way. And then a lot of people are going to leave saying, well, you know, I can't compete. I'm not having any fun. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And that's what I think a lot of these players are missing. It's a game. You know? Yeah, you might have to spend money to play for a higher class ship. Great. If you want to do that, that's on you. I'd rather have fun playing what I have and have a chance to get higher tier ships and sit there and go, well, I'm playing tier 10s all day. I don't know why I'm losing.
I appreciate that you're taking your time to do that, because that's exactly the right approach to take.
That's what I'm doing. It may take me, and right now, I'll be honest, I'm about 40,000 XP away from my first tier 10. I'm saving up for the Montana.
Okay.
That's a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, oh, Montana, and that's why I kind of pick people's brains to say, hey, what would you get? And I've asked people in my clan even who have, I don't know, 15, 25 tier 10s. They spend money for them or what have you. Okay, I don't have that kind of money.
Right.
I'd rather grind it and get it that way. And at the end of the day, I feel better about, getting that tier 10. It might have taken me a year to get it, but I got it.
Well, and one thing to mention too, you said you're a newer player, so you probably weren't here when we had the CV rework applied, which was about a year. Is it a year ago or two? I can't remember now. But the point I wanted to make about that was when the rework dropped, one of the things that Wargaming said they were doing was keeping a close eye on information, data, results of the game, and they were prepared to make a tweak or change if it was deemed necessary. And they did release micro patches, actually pretty darn quick. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks after that initial patch. It's 2 years now. Thank you. They did release that first micro patch pretty quickly in order to nerf. Oh God, I don't remember. It was the hack.
The hack torps.
Right. It was a result of Gaishu breaking the 500,000 damage record. And
there's sort of a lot of people averaging about 250, 300,000 games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he popularized it, right? Like he put the video out, everybody watched it, it got millions of views, and as a result, everybody looked at that and said, "Hack is broken." And obviously, like you said, other players were doing it too because Wargaming had the data, and they made that change. But that was 2 or 3 weeks in, and it was like, that's fast for them. That's about as fast as it gets. So, Sith, were you going to say something?
Yeah, they're releasing a patch about once a week, I think.
Okay. What was that, kitten?
I said I don't even remember now.
All right.
It was a retort to something that was being said, but it was a while ago.
Got it. Okay, here's what we're gonna do then. If you guys don't mind, I feel like we're starting to beat a dead horse. So if you don't mind, let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the Axis versus Allies mode, and then we can get into our replay analysis portion of the stream. Is that okay with everyone?
Hey, I got more tanks analogies to talk about there too, because they tried the mode 5 years ago in tanks, and it also failed miserably.
All right, sounds good. So I'm actually this is Putin's game. I'm gonna pause the game, and we're gonna go to marbles. We're gonna start our second race. I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad. I have to go real bad, so we'll take care of that too. Next map. Oh, the Haunted Hills map. Okay. So this is a crazy map.
I should have done Portal Purgatory.
Kiwi Spuds is now following.
Kiwi, thank you very much for the follow. This is a pretty crazy map. You've got a cursed funnel, and then you go into the haunted house there, and then there's just some craziness that happens that I can't explain. You're just gonna have to see for yourself. Remember, we are giving away. Putin, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and give away. What do you think? CC container this time for the winner? Does that work for you? All right, so whoever wins this race will win a CC container. And then remember that we are still in the running for our Jarua at Tier 6, which will be after 2 more of our races. So I'm going to start the countdown, 3 minutes, and I'm going to run a quick ad, and then we'll get into this, okay? See you in a few. Duckman. Save the CC crates for me. That's Duckman, all right.
Hey, I need some too now.
More CC crates. It's nice to be able to have a healthy discussion about stuff.
I completely agree with you, Shane. It is nice to have that healthy conversation, and I think it's great to be able to say, you know, that old adage of I respect I may not respect your opinion, but I respect your ability to say it. I mean, the fact that you guys, I mean, we had a little bit of talking over each other, but the fact that you guys were like talking but listening to each other and responding and giving everybody their space speaks a lot to you guys and the community, and that's what I love about this group. Yes, Tyrus Mark, this is race number 2. And, you know, like, that's awesome. I've always said we've got one of the best communities in warships, and I really do believe that. You guys want to learn, you guys want to talk about the game, but you're not willing to, like, trash somebody else in order to do it.
Well, yeah, it's like on my stream. I may disagree with you, but you know what? That's your right to have a different opinion than mine. I will respect you,
even if your opinion's wrong.
Opinions, you know, we're okay to have different opinions about stuff.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, a black hole. Is there a black hole sun?
Won't you come?
Black hole sun.
Won't you come?
Discord sings Black Hole Sun.
But is it S-U-N or S-O-N is the question. What sun are they talking about?
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
Poor
my.
Cardell's like rolling in his grave listening to this.
Right? Well, here we go. Everybody going down into the enchanted, I don't know, whatever this thing is, funnel.
Everybody's going down the hole.
Mm-hmm. Oops. Hit the wrong button. Now they're going down the corkscrew.
They're essentially, the Des Moines and Salem are essentially the same ship. The Salem you would think of as a slightly weaker version of the Des Moines.
Salem's got a super
I'm
heal.
not sure I'd say weaker, but
yeah,
they're different roles.
Yep.
Oh, they've got the shorter radar, shorter
radar, are much tankier.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because it's got the better heal. But with the Des Moines, you're usually bow in, hugging an island anyway.
Which is why that heal can't come in very handy.
We had 3 seasons of clan battles that were defined by Salem's taking outside fights, and it had to be Salem's getting out to, like, the 10 line on North or Land of Fire, for example, because the Salem would just take that bow up DPM fight and outlast you with its super heal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now watch this carefully, guys. Wacky Mars is in the front, but there's something circling one of these marbles up front ominously. Now, one of these might be selected for yeeting. We'll have to see.
Yummy marbles. Yummy balls. Oh, something green.
And everybody transports over to the other side. They come out randomly. This is one of the really cool things about this level. Diznak in first now. Wacky Mars still up there. Ozjim up there. But see, that something is circling ominously. And Vladeshi falls to his death. Oof. Test name, please, Meow. That's a fun name.
Looks like Ensign Cthulhu is being circled by the smoke.
Oh, nope. It shows Wacky Mars. Wacky Mars has been specially yeeted off the level. And Jib, Jam goes down.
Come on.
I love the Aston Martin. I think that's an Aston Martin in the picture there. It's one of the Bond cars, I'm sure. Wacky Mars is about to meet a very unhappy face. And there he goes.
Oh, goodbye.
So he is out. Ozjim now in the lead. Blackadder, it says, is in the lead, but I think he's about to get yeeted. Yep, he did too. So it's now Ozjim and Cthulhu. Relic behind. And we got Kibagami, 77, and Diznak, Paladin Marksman. Test name, please, Meow, No Dexel, Puckhead, and Zevolus. Rounding out our leaderboard.
In the house. Go into the house.
Smile Crow just fell to his death as well. And you can see as everybody comes down the stairs. And then the weird spooky stuff happens. where we see like people just kind of start levitating. This is awesome, isn't it?
Will I be last again?
Oh,
Nope,
there's
you're
I.
right.
Yeah. All right, looks like Paladin is now leading the pack, or is... Yes, Paladin is leading the pack. The
Paladin's leading the pack.
positioning's a little off because of the fact that it goes based off of who's like direct straight line closest to the finish, and the finish is downstairs. So Shane, it looks like he might be in the lead now.
That won't last. Trust me. I'll figure out some way to throw it.
Shane is still in the lead, and you can see there's the finish line right there. So we're now within sight of the finish line. Cthulhu in close second, Paladin Marksman in third, Kibagami and Ozjim fighting it out for fourth and fifth places. Wait! Kibagami comes in first, barely beating out Shane Deuce at the end there. Cthulhu in third.
See? I told you I'd figure out a way to throw it.
Kibagami, good job. Congrats.
I went from last place to second place this race. Yay! It's an improvement.
It is.
And I still didn't place at all, so still no points for the kitten.
Well, think about this. Second place is first place of the losers.
Points
So
are
I am
points.
first
It
place
doesn't
of the
matter.
losers.
Points are points.
Yep.
Looks like Beret
And in
87
Grand
is...
Prix races, it's not whether or not if you come in first, it's whether or not if you come in first with the points.
Mm-hmm. And we have our final finisher here. And there we
Do you
go.
have the one to reach out to me?
So Kibagami, hopefully you are following the channel. Reach out to Puddin. He will hook you up with your CC container. Just send a quick message to him, and you're good.
Kibagami's not following. You can just give it to me.
Now, over the course of our Grand Prix, you can see Vladeshi and Kibagami are tied in first place now. Relic is in second, Nodexil is tied with Cthulhu in third, Paladin Marksman's in fourth, Zevolus in fifth, Ozjim and Draco Twitch is tied for sixth. Kikao Gaming is seventh, Terrace Mark is eighth, Don Castro ninth, Disnek Puddin are 10th, Shell Eater and Eder Hinikas finish up 11th and 12th, and you can see a lot of people still working on getting some of their points. Don't worry. I got it right? Oh, nice, I did. Nice. I'm bad with names, so that's important to know. All right, so
That's
let's...
weird.
What?
I finished second, but it didn't show me how many kind of points. Oh, well.
Oh, you did have some points, didn't you?
I didn't see my name on the list.
Let's take a look. We're continuing the replay. Let's see, where's Shane? Yeah, it says you're in 69th right now, but you just got 18 points, so it'll probably...
Ah, that's why. 69.
That's
number.
That's
What?
weird, though. I didn't do this last time, but I'm going to screenshot this and put it in my Discord, my channel about Marbles Grand Prix, so that people can see the results for themselves. Coughlin, thank you. Okay, so last topic to discuss. Axis and Allies. That was just recently announced a couple days ago. Anybody want to share their thoughts?
First of all, can we all agree that it definitely needs more balancing?
Yeah, I don't see it working out the way Wargaming wants it to.
What's a good point to start on?
Wherever you want to start.
World Tanks tried the mode, it was called Confrontation, and while it wasn't explicitly Axis versus Allies, it was just nation versus nation. So you had like an all-German team versus an all-French team, or an all-Russian team, or an all-US team, and everybody quickly figured out which ones were which nation had the most broken vehicles at the time, and that one got spammed and had ridiculous win rates. mode was pulled like a patch or two later.
Oof. Okay, let's start by discussing each of the classes, maybe the class matchup between the two sides.
Okay. I posted the article in chat. I'll post it again in chat so people can follow along if they want to.
Personally, I still think the Allies still has a considerable advantage.
And why is that?
And not to mention that people will, not to mention that the majority of the player base might go toward Allies because they think they're better. But okay, so in terms of DDs, simply put, Allies have a lot more utility, while for the Axis, you don't really have much DD variety. Allies have more gunboats, more hybrids, and for the Axis, you may have like torpedo boats and ships with low detection, but they're still going to be outmatched by hybrids like the British destroyers.
Right.
Yeah.
So
The Allies are better off than the Axis in every ship role. Bringing up reigning recon in chat here.
Maybe not IGN CVs, but
I mean, that's
but they
debatable.
still-
Lexington,
Allies,
you have
yeah,
Enterprise.
debatable. But yeah, true.
So-
You do have Enterprise.
Yeah, Enterprise exists. Like,
And Allies still have a lot of AA combined.
Allies have all the AA ships too, as well.
Yeah.
yes.
And Axis BBs don't have overmatch. They don't.
They
even
don't have
a
27mm overmatch. Nope. Right.
I think one thing that's being forgotten, though, is most of us are automatically thinking, because it says it's a 12 versus 12 format, I think a lot of us are automatically imagining 12 of us or 12 of our friends on one team versus 12 of others on the opposite team, and I don't think it's going to work that way.
They did say that team matchmaking isn't going to be set like one.
But
1v1
class matchups
ratio.
of the carriers aren't going to be
Class
enforced.
matchups.
Carriers will match.
Yeah. Well, except for
Yeah.
CVs, yeah. That.
Ah, yes. So your team of Japanese
So-
torpedo boats could get matched against a team of Baltimore's. Good luck.
So,
Yeah,
like,
it could go either way. It would. I think it would go either way on the live server. But
so one thing
in
that
terms of balance, yeah.
one thing I want to comment on is you've got the ability to form a division, but they all have to be part of the same historical team, and you can go into battle, but they didn't say how big a division is. So my guess is if they're going to keep it to 3 players in a division, well, then, you can decide if you want to play, which side you want to be, and I think, like you guys were just talking about the anti-air disparity, the absolute worst thing you could probably do for your team is to division with a carrier, because then that forces a carrier battle, right? If you're playing Axis, if you're playing Allies, you probably want a division with a carrier because,
Oh no.
You know.
You can run Kid Aki Kid division.
Why would you run Kidaki Kid Division in a mode that?
right?
I mean, you can't.
You can do
Oh wait. Oh, you can't anymore.
Kid Silly
No,
Wangy.
because in
Aki
this,
is on the Axis.
yeah.
Congrats, Life. Glad I could help you, man. Thanks for sticking around. But the thing is, and I think it's important that players understand this. if we feel that random battles is not balanced, if we feel that clan battles is not balanced, and if we feel that that ranked battles isn't balanced, then I think it's really stupid to expect for this game mode to be balanced as well. So what I'm getting at here is I don't expect there to be any sort of balance. So you guys have already been talking about radars. That's true. How many times have you played a ranked battle where the enemy team had all the radars, but you still found a way to win? So I don't know that that matters as much. There's also a heal imbalance that nobody talked about. The Axis cruisers, you've got the the Eugen and the Atagos that have a heal as well, versus I believe just the Edinburgh has a heal on the other side, on the Allies side.
Yeah, also like BBs, like Massachusetts,
Problem is,
have improved heals.
That is true. So
the German,
The Hipper
Japanese
doesn't have a
cruisers
heal.
and the Italian cruisers, they're only like damage cruisers. They don't have utility.
Mm-hmm.
And, like no radar. So I think that or a bit. So I mean, sure they've got heals, but they will get pushed out by destroyers because of vision. They don't have radar. The Italian cruiser doesn't even have Hydra. But is the Evolve even in this mode? I don't think it was built. So.
Well, you forget
It's
about
not
the
TV.
Axis has strong hydro with the
Germans. That's true.
They have
Okay.
hydro.
Pan Asia has
so they
Loyang.
farm their hydro with the Hipper, but with
Yeah,
no
and then the
no
Hipper runs
heal.
into a Massachusetts.
Right.
Okay, I've seen Massachusetts lose that battle.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
It's
Yeah,
possible
anything's
for
possible.
Yeah,
Massachusetts
anything
to
is
battle with the
possible
Hipper. I
because
know,
of
I'm
player
telling you.
skill.
And the pigs might someday fly, but we'll. I mean,
Well,
if we're
technically-
looking at all this stuff in the vacuum, and it's like, I mean, sure, like I've seen a Shimikaze gun kill a Smolensk. Like, that's not the expected outcome
It comes down
when
to
we're doing this kind of theory crafting.
Right. Anything is possible because of the map
mean, that's
making
just-
they're implementing
yeah.
and player skill.
That's the thing is
That's
that's
I mean, that
the
just
way it
you
was
can
random.
just say that, and that'll hand wave any single argument or counterpoint I can make. You can't that's not even an argument.
But yeah,
Old underscore leather underscore.
Old Leatherhead,
you know
thanks
how
for the follow.
everybody's been wanting more operations. Guess what? This is our new operation. Axis versus Allies.
so,
Think about it that way.
What?
and that's what I wanted
we
to
did
bring
have
up.
like Axis versus Allies, like for Ultimate Frontier.
Yeah, there's been a few ops. Like I wouldn't call this an op because it's not PvE, it's PvP.
But very much so, though, I do want to think back to the discussion that we had last week about player engagement. And, you know, Wargaming is obviously investing some assets into developing this kind of game mode because, again, let's talk about we the player. How many years have we said we'd love to have some sort of mode that historically pits us up against each other, you know, with historical ships? So this is Wargaming's first attempt to try doing that. Is it going to come out balanced? No way in hell. Is it going to succeed? That's up to you, the player. That's up to us, the players. Really. When I was talking about operations last time, and I said they're not going to put the money and effort in ops because players are only playing random battles or co-op battles with a few smatterings of ranked and clan battles in there because those are the other core game modes. You know, if they don't see that player retention that comes out of it, if you don't play the game, like that particular game mode, 60, 80, 100 times, or 50% of the games that you play aren't that game mode, well, why are they going to put money into it and assets?
All right. Yep, Edgecase makes some good points in the chat here. Like once one team becomes recognized as better, nobody's going to want to play the other team.
Right.
And that just reminds me that they actually did do a historical battles mode in tanks that was different from the one I talked about earlier, where they tried like the T-34s versus Tigers stuff, you know, like the actual historical matchups, and like it failed even harder than that one. Like the queues were dead by the second day.
Yep.
You couldn't get games.
Yep.
Because nobody wanted to play the worst side.
Which brings me to the next point, which says that if the time waiting by the first player in the queue exceeds 3 minutes, teams might be filled with bots with improved AI, Master Commander skills, mounted camouflage and signals. In other words, this might be a fantastic mode to farm once we have decided which team is the better team, because then you go into queue with that team and then you draw either an all-bot opponent team or at least partial bot opponent team.
Interesting.
Right?
We'll have to see how good these bots are. I'm curious.
They're going to be Operation AI, so yeah.
I still remember when they gave bots the ability to shoot AP, and players complained that the bots that couldn't shoot AP before were too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before the bots didn't shoot AP, they didn't use consumables, and people already complained those bots were too hard.
Damn right.
People won't
Just
complain about anything. You know, they're going to complain about something, dude.
I know, I'm just laughing.
Yep. So I'd say as players, guys, give it a chance when it comes out. Play the hell out of it, especially if you have a tier 8 ship that you need to grind that is available in this mode, right? So if you've been thinking about resetting, say, the British destroyer line or the Russian destroyer, oh my goodness, Ognivoy. So that's okay. So that's Ognivoy followed by, oh, okay. So hell, that might be a lot of fun. I can reset the line, grind out the Ognivoy in this mode, and then I can play the tier 9, the Udaloy, in clan battles because it seems to be coming meta now. Or I could play it in ranked battles, assuming I stay in silver. That's got some interesting things to think about for me, personally.
Or, depending on how good the XP is, you could maybe go farm free XP.
I think Oregon might have learned their lesson, and I doubt we'll get good XP earnings.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see, because that's the other part of the equation. And I want to comment on this for a second, because Special K had mentioned this too, is who knows what they might do to try to encourage players to play for the other side. It could be XP, it could be something totally different. So,
free permanent camos on those ships?
Oh my god. But when it comes to, like, you know, trying to set this up, I think it's going to live or die based off of the player perception of, is this worth my time? I just hope that players do perceive it that way. They can switch tier at some point. That's another comment I was going to make, was I really wish that Wargaming would not have locked themselves into tier 8. They probably did because of the ability to try to balance the mode, to start small, but there's 7s they could have put in there, even 9s.
Well, somebody brought up that how many tier 10 ships were actually real ships and not paper ships.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they went with tier 8 because there was more real tier 8 ships than paper ships.
Definitely. Is that tier 8?
Maybe that's why they went that way.
It's always a possibility.
Because there's only just a handful of tier 8 ships that wouldn't completed and in service. Like the Graf Zeppelin was almost done, but it was never truly finished and put in service.
I mean, if it was tier 10, it would basically be US mode only. I mean, you have Yamato, Shima, Montana, Worcester, DM, Gearing, Midway. No Russian. No German.
The Des Moines made it in the service, I thought.
You have Daring and Audacious. Yep, DM made it in the service.
The Gearing in Montana, the Gearing in Des Moines, I thought made it in the service.
Yeah, you literally have that, nothing else.
And
Worcester made it to service.
Montana didn't make it in. Was it the Midway didn't make it in?
Midway existed. They built 3 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, the Enterprise and Lexington
are not tier 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just saying, for the tier 8s is why they've chose tier 8s, because of
there's so many more tier 8s built.
Yeah, there's more true tier 8 ships that actually made it into the service.
Right.
But you see, you have North Carolina. North Carolina made it in and is a great ship.
Well, and then there's other points too that people have made, like the Kutuzov being commissioned way after World War II ended, and there's not just Russian ships, there's British ships too, with the Vanguard making its way in. So, whatever. I don't care. I'm excited that they're trying a new mode. I want to see what it does. And if it's something that ends up being broken where I can farm XP out of it, you better believe I'm going to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw on my flags and camos, farm the XP.
Yep.
Well, I want to say this. I mean, I'm glad you're Wargaming outright coming out and telling you this isn't going to be a balanced game mode. Because guess what? It wasn't balanced in real life either. Right?
Oh.
Like, you all wanted historical battle. Here it is. It ain't balanced. And it wasn't balanced in real life.
Putting uses the
they
real
might do
history
like the hunt for
argument.
Bismarck. You know? The hunt for the Bismarck or the Bismarck versus the Hood.
You know,
true.
I just... If it's offered for people to play it and try it out before they release it, you gotta
it's
try
on
it
the
out.
public test server. Probably be on the public test server for however long you'll be there, and then they'll release it. That's why I like playing on the public test server.
Mm-hmm.
I
Get to
think
play around with next patch before it comes out.
I think with as much bitching as we all do about ranked battles here, why does everybody play ranked? Because of the steel, because of the rewards. So,
Steel ships are way overpowered.
okay, but what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is they need to make these rewards worth it for people to play these game modes.
Yes.
Right? Like, operations died the second rewards weren't there. Right? If the rewards were still there, we'd still be doing operations. They would be investing money into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same thing with, what did they just do? The big hunt? You've got to offer the rewards for the players that have been here a long time. And rewards for the new players. Because why do I need to go play big hunt for another permanent camouflage, for another tier 8 that I've already got 6 sitting in my thing and I haven't even linked? Like, a permanent camouflage is not reward enough for me. I hate rank. I get the gold and I stop. Because anything past that is not worth my time as far as rewards.
Mm-hmm.
The game mode could be the greatest unbalanced game mode in the world. But if the rewards aren't there, ain't nobody playing it.
Yep. And that's what happened to team battles when they first created it. Nope, there weren't anything, there was nothing special for it, and it just died because nobody cared about it. It was tier 8 or 6, I think it was 6.
Look
Yeah,
at Arms Race. We played a week of that. Most of us, after 3 days, were like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going back to randoms.
Right.
Like, oh, this is nice. Thank you. Bye. Well, for me, I'm like you, Puddin'. I went all the way to, I got my 12 wins, and I said, okay, I'm done with rank.
I mean, that and gold is the new bronze.
Mm-hmm.
The bronze rank 1 is not that enticing to me because the reward for it, not worth it. But that's just mine. The battle up to get the 12 wins you had to get the, what was it, 500 doubloons or 200 doubloons, whatever, for the 12th win. That was worth it. And all the steel. Yeah, the rewards better be there. If not, you're right. It's going to die hard.
Mm-hmm. So.
And Wargaming is going, oh, whoa, look, we gave you historical battles. Yeah, you gave us historical battles, but you didn't give us an incentive to play them.
You know, here's another prime example, though, of, you know, people complaining about Wargaming never listens. Like Zath said, we've been asking this for how long? You know, this is a significant, you know, resource for Wargaming to dump money into. Granted, they probably could have done this a lot sooner, but they were probably focused on something else.
Yep.
But here's what everybody was asking for, and we're already bitching that the allies are so much better because they have the better utility ships.
Yep.
You know, like the game mode hasn't even dropped, and we're already bitching about, well, the allies are going to be better because their ships have better utility. Like, we haven't even played it yet. Like, I don't think anyone's played it, and we're already complaining.
How about submarines?
God.
No.
I'm not going to touch that subject.
It's just so funny. People ask for subs. Okay, when we're gonna bring subs into the game? They brought them in the game, and the first thing they started doing, even on the test server, complaining.
I'm going to say that those are two different groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty.
Well, then I belong to both groups.
I mean, the people there have been people asking for subs, and I'm pretty certain the people like complaining about subs are the ones that are saying, "Please don't add subs ever."
Right.
Well, it's like Legends. They finally added carriers, and the players of the consoles are complaining. I'm like, hey, you should have come to PC years ago. You're lucky you had this long without.
Well, I mean, I do say, like, everyone bitches about Ocean, right? Like, oh, God, Ocean, you know, like...
It's the best map. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. But what I'm trying to say, though, is, like, everyone complains about it. Like, you know, oh, there's no islands, there's none of this, da-da-da. These are the exact same people that would bitch that Ocean isn't in the game. You know, yeah, it's
an awesome map.
I enjoy it. It's really more skill.
I love it. Oh God, I love it. It doesn't matter what I'm in. I'm like, Ocean. Oh,
Ocean, man.
I'm having a nerdgasm right there. Instant nerdgasm.
So, I mean, let's just agree that, you know, we're all passionate about the game, and we're playing the game regardless, and let's just hope that this mode works, and that it shows wargaming that there's other things to put their time and effort into than premium ships that may be OP or underpowered or whatever, or balanced, and ship lines that, you know, again, people might like or dislike based off of looking at certain numbers or what certain individuals say on stream.
I hope this game mode does work, because it's going to offer something new and different.
I hope it does too, and I hope that Wargaming listens and puts in the rewards that will cause players to come back, like coal and steel. Maybe if they put in the ability to convert coal into steel.
Oh God.
That would cause players to go farming it.
But I mean, I hope this game mode works, but I believe Tetzer's right. Like, this has already been tried. It's been tried on tanks, and it didn't succeed there. So why is it going to succeed here?
Because the World of Tank community is different than the World of Warship.
Yes, say that.
It's different, but there is a lot of the same.
Oh, there is, but there's a lot more hate. Why do you think you can't cross-talk against in teams?
Don't worry, that's coming to ships soon.
I'm sure it'll be in ships eventually.
It's going to eventually happen in World of Warships because of the toxicity of the chat is going to get there.
And you're talking about toxicity of chat, and there's some spicy things going on in the all chat in this game.
Well, we can't because Stevie, we see Stevie. Stevie's more important than your toxic chat of the game replay.
I disagree.
Much better to look at than toxic chat. Okay, you got to agree with me, guys.
No, toxic chat is bus chat.
All right, Edge. He's cleaning himself.
Cat cam is critical. Yes, you're right, Duckman. That's why I need to get myself a cam for my stream so I can have people stare at Garfield while he's sleeping.
I need to adopt a cat.
Get a dog, please.
So adorable.
Let's see if I get some tummy.
I mean, my problem is once work from home ends, I'm not going to be able to give a dog the attention it deserves.
There he goes. There's the tummy.
It's a trap. Watch it, Zath. It's a trap.
Poor destroyer just getting bullied.
Is this a Graf Zeppelin we're watching?
No, it's a Lowenhart.
Oh, okay. I can't. I've got the screen too small to be able to read the name.
Alzu, I haven't started replay analysis yet. I don't remember which one is yours, but we haven't done analysis yet.
It has more damage per bomb than the US 10,000 pound HE, so.
Mm-hmm. Also totally balanced.
Yeah. Like the Graf Zeppelin's AP bombs are still balanced perfectly for destroyers. You can still kill them.
All right. Yeah, so...
Or the German AP rockets. There we go.
I feel like we're good for discussion about Axis and allies, yeah?
It's a wonderful game mode, period.
Okay. One last thing I want to comment on. Some people have been asking me, how do you build your commanders for low tiers or operations? And to me, especially operations, it's all about damage and survivability. So, like, I would go for one of those kinds of builds depending on how you, the player, play certain operations. If you die early all the time, then focus more on survivability. If you're somebody who lives to the end but you want to do more damage, then obviously you focus on doing damage. So, for example, in operations, I rarely take Concealment Expert because most of the time I'm playing within range of others that they're going to spot me anyway. So Concealment Expert doesn't give me anything specific, right? It's actually, interestingly enough, I think a really good opportunity to try certain skills like Dazzle or Outnumbered. I think Outnumbered especially is great for operations because most of the time you're up against a larger number of low-tier ships. That being said, I wouldn't put that on a captain that you intend to play competitively, but hey, if you want to have fun, sure. Dazzle could be fun as well. The thing that I think about Dazzle is, because of the way that it works, you know, you get that first, it's 20 seconds of that extra concealment, or not concealment, dispersion. Because of that, like, when you're in operations, you know, bots almost always react immediately to you being detected. And same thing with co-op for a certain extent. So, like, I could definitely see that kind of coming in handy, but again, that's if you're only playing operations. At low tiers, you know, concealment probably doesn't matter as much. Deadeye probably doesn't matter as much. I think rate of fire is the bigger thing.
I just want to call. Has Dazzle even been proven to work? I'm pretty certain Little White Mouse testing showed that Dazzle didn't even work.
Little White Mouse testing showed that it wasn't very effective. TM Grunty argues opposite, and then everything else I've seen is anywhere in between. So, is it effective? I don't know. So I would
say the dispersion chart that Little White Mouse posted showed almost no difference.
Yeah. So generally speaking, if I'm playing co-op or operations, I want damage or survivability is what I'm speccing my captains for. Plain and simple. Good. I'm glad to see other people saying that it's a wasted skill point. Kiwi Spuds, congrats! Stevie is trying to work his way outside of the room. It's kind of cute. Let me show you guys. I think he wants out. The door is cracked open. Now, one thing that Prue is better than Stevie at is actually getting into doors. Although he's learning. There he goes. And he's through. Busted, right? Totally busted.
We get you, human. I can get in and out by myself.
Totally busted. So anyway, there's your commander skills for low tiers. Definitely. What is that sexy attack?
Well, he was taking nominations for outfits to wear for you guys to dress him.
And nobody gave me any nominations. Guys, check the link out there. Pick out an article of clothing, please no underwear, for something that I can request from Fabletics. And they'll send it to me. And I'll show you guys how it looks. And I'll talk about what it, you know, if it works or doesn't. So, product placement is coming, don't worry. Joseph! Thank you very much, Joseph. Time does fly, my friend. Oh God,
Just
Castle.
Hughes just resubscribed for 18 months. Zath, always enjoy. Can't believe it's been 18 months. Time does fly.
Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. But yeah, on my Discord, I have a channel for nominations or clothing that you'd like me to ask for.
7742 is now following.
So take a moment, if you have a sec, and look at something and see if there's something that you would actually like to know a little bit more about. Duckman, I find it confusing too. What's confusing to you? And JFK, thank you very much for the follow.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz vor dem Sieg.
Georgia on Greece. I saw your replay, Alzu, but I can't remember. Is this from a subscription or something, or? Everybody says, "Where's the birthday suit?" But see, the birthday suit is definitely not sponsored by by Fabletics Men. There's nothing Fabletics about that. B-Cup, I know yours. Don't worry, I got yours flagged. All right, Alzu. Georgia on Greece? Yeah. All right, we got a bunch of replays to get through. All right. Yeah, it's coming, B-Cup. Don't worry. It's coming. I think I've got like 5 prioritized replays now.
Reminds you on Bart ranked replays.
I'm sorry, what?
So I doubt we're gonna get to them if there's 5 replays getting put in both the list now.
That's all right. We can always get to it next week if we have to. That's one of the hard parts, right? Is because I don't want to have like nothing on the list, but at the same time, you know, people mess with the list. Yeah. So there you go.
Like as you've added more and more other content, whether it's ranked or operations or conversations stuff, there's been less replay reviews.
Yep. But it seems to be something that people enjoy listening to or talking through, so I don't mind doing it if it's something that's considered a positive, you know, net result. So I wish I could stream more so that I can do more of everything, quite frankly, but, you know, somebody I live with says no. So
Stevie?
Steve, yeah, sure. Time to inflate the cover.
I got Garfield over here packing my boots. He thinks the strings are quite fun.
Oh, okay. Very interesting positioning by Badger, but it makes sense. Getting his secondaries in.
Is it a honey badger?
No, it's just a Captain Badger. Though it's interesting he's turning... I thought he would have gone up the channel and started secondarying that Ranger down. Well, he'll still do that soon. There he goes. Stevie needs a shark fin. That's true. That's true. Dizank, are you here? Grant, while listening to the stream while doing other stuff for a moment, I thought Zath was talking about getting outfits for Stevie to wear. I couldn't believe chat wasn't voting. Thanks, Grant.
Stevie's probably just going to be...
Oh, Zablus. Okay. Absolutely, that's a turnoff. Absolutely, Zablus. Here, try going to fabletics.com/men. That's the site that I was using. Here, I'll post it in chat. That's the site that I was using, and maybe that'll work. I don't know. I know what you mean, though. That is definitely a turnoff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for heat number 3, right? Yes. So we're gonna go to Portal Purgatory. Whatever that means. Oh god. Ted knows what that means. So we have this crazy initial. Edge case, see, Edge case, he got in. And then, oh my god, portal. Oh, what? Alright, this is gonna be ridiculous. This is gonna be, I can already see this is gonna be nuts. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna leave it like this. Well, I'm gonna join myself. We'll start the timer.
It's Pog.
Start the ad. And we'll be back.
Plinko, excuse me, Plinko.
Yes, it's Plinko. Yeeting intensifies.
But it doesn't love me. Greetings, Mr. Business.
Varnia 712 is now following.
Nice. Garfield's over here trying to bury his drug. Don't understand that, but hey, whatever. Room in a dustpan, and I'll just pour it right back in his food bowl.
All right. We are back.
Way to go, kid. Smoke up in front of a radar cruiser.
Vanier, thank you for the follow. Sir Farmalot has won. Farmalot, if you are here, say something in chat. Alright, so after this is done, guys, we will get into some more, some replay analysis. We got Georgia on Greece, we got Musashi ranked, Worcester ranked, Kitakaze ranked. And not in that order, actually. I think the order is Kitakaze, Musashi, Worcester, Georgia. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're going to get through all four of those. And we'll see where we go. Okay, here we go. And ashes, ashes, they all fall down. It's always so fun to watch, like, the giant Plinko board. Kaduzanen is in first place. Great one in second. Vladeshi is also in the lead. Everybody is down, and Castle Bravo taking up the end. Taking up the rear. And we've got our big first sorting machine right there. Setting up some marbles into portals. Oh my god. What the hell? And yeah, we got people that are going down here. How the hell do you get...
First attempt, first person dead. You have to get lucky and get launched into the goal.
Seriously?
Yeah, if you make it to the end portal, it resets you.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh, Tedster, you just got yeeted.
Yeah. And where's T-Raptor? Just show him this one.
Oh, Red Wing! Red Wing Nut comes in first place.
Nice. Good job, Red Wing.
Yep, and that starts the wall of death, so let's see who gets lucky.
Let's oh.
Shane gets you, Sith gets you.
Oh, Game Prodigy's here.
Whoa, hey, Game Prodigy. What's up?
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
This
this
man-
track's just a giant meme.
Wow. Everybody else died. Oh my god.
All right, we need. Oh yes, actually,
Yep.
cool.
Nice.
That
All right,
turret.
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, I kill an Odin. And a
I
hipper.
didn't do anything the first 2 games, so I don't know what to make of that.
And Shane is still in 69th. How are you in 69th despite having 18 points?
Because it's my favorite number.
Oh,
Cause I don't know.
that's
The game doesn't like me. It wants me being 69. So, okay, fine. I've been 69. I will not.
No, I think it was.
I'm just-
I don't know. That is weird.
that is very strange. But we'll take it. We'll go by points. Don't worry. So I'm gonna
Hey, don't
post.
worry. No, consider this is me. Strange is kind of on the bill. For all those people who come by and say hi to me while I'm streaming, they know I'm weird and strange.
I'm just glad I got some points out of all 4 of these games. That's my goal. First time having been here and all, so it's all good.
Right?
It's RNG, so
It's RNG's that's trying to make the new guy feel welcome. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, but the last game I'll probably be 200, so who knows?
You never know.
There's not that many people in here, so you can't be 200. Maybe 174th, but not 200.
All right. So now we're gonna move into our